All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome today to this, yeah, little live stream. And yeah, this shouldn't take too long. I just wanted to kind of go over the process that I found to be the simplest and free way to create longer clips or create shorter clips from longer shows. So felt like it'd be a great opportunity to just show you firsthand how I do this. And yeah, that way it can provide some inspiration to you. So I do want to say that the the main idea of the software that I use, CapCut, I got that inspiration from our brother Finn, who he's been making great clips for quite a while, um, at least since last year. And yeah, so thanks, Finn, for showing me that. If you haven't already, make sure to check out his channel. I linked it in the description. Um, I'll just share screen real quick and we'll show that. So Finn over. So if you go to the description of the video, you can see I linked here to his channel, Insightful Wisdom. So this channel, Insightful Wisdom, or at Insightful Wisdom Talk, you can see a bunch of great clips that Finn has put together in the same way using CapCut. So I reached out to Finn and was like, how do you do this? You seem like a wizard at it. And he said, it's really simple. It doesn't take any money. I'm not paying for this software, and it does everything that you need. And he was doing it on an iPad. So I haven't experimented on mobile, but it might be that you can do all this from your phone. I do this on a computer, which I just find it a little easier to get around. But yeah, thanks, Ben, for sharing that. So yeah, let's just jump right into it, and feel free to relay any questions you have. So hopefully I'm back. Had a bit of a misclick there. So excuse the delay. Can y'all hear me back in the chat? Am I coming in loud and clear? Not sure. Okay, great. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate that. Yeah, so just had a bit of a misclick there. So let's just jump right back into it. Thanks for your patience, everyone. So yeah, just going back to sharing screen to show the software itself. Um, so the software is called CapCut, and basically, what my goal was to take these longer winded shows and create something that was much more approachable and easier to listen to. You know, sometimes people don't have the patience or the time to listen to a 4 hour show, and so this just makes that a lot easier to sort of condense it down. So this is what the software looks like, and you can get it. It's 100% free. So there is a paid version, which I did opt to pay for it. It's $10 a month. So I was like, well, let's just try it for a month and I can swing $10 and see how it works. And I've really enjoyed the pro features, but the free features are amazing. Like, I don't know any other piece of software that offers this much for free in a simple way to do it. Now there are other great pieces of free software out there for video editing. This just seems to be the best one for simplicity, and I like simplicity. I like easy, and I like some of the other pieces of software require a lot more uh, beefier computers to sort of handle the process. And this CapCut seems to be pretty light as far as what it uses. So that's what I opted for, and that's what I prefer. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So if I was going to click that button, I just opened one that I already had open, but to um, create a new project, it opens up this page right here. And if anyone's done any video editing before, or even if you haven't, they usually look fairly similar. You know, you've got your space where you import clips, so video, audio, images, and then this is your timeline. So this is what we're going to create down here. So just to give an idea of how it looks like on that scale. And then actually, it might be easier if I just pull up one that we've already got done, just so you can see kind of all the elements put together. But it's pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to come here, find whatever clip I'm working with. And just a side note, it's a great idea to organize your stuff when you start working with lots of things. So find ways to organize that. So I already made a smaller clip from this one on duality. But there was another whole segment that I might add on or do a separate clip on the Holy Spirit. What is the Holy Spirit? So just to show what that looks like, to throw that in there, we've got that clip now here, and then we're just going to drag that down to the timeline. So just to kind of give you an idea of that creative process and how to do that. It's very simple, very straightforward. And then from there, we can edit the clip. So, you know, this button's handy because it zooms to fit the timeline. So to kind of fit the best way on your screen, but you are going to be zooming in and out to get kind of more denser in here. And then you can go through and listen to what's being said here. I'm going to answer this question. And it shows you the timeline. So you can kind of pick up on where words are being said and edit accordingly. So sometimes you want to edit out long pauses or spaces, like if I'm waiting for somebody to speak in between speakers or whatever. Now, one thing that CapCut does amazingly well, and you can do most of this for free, but this is one of the reasons why I opted for the paid version, because what it offers is this transcript-based editing. So if I click that, it's going to analyze that audio clip and pull out the transcript. And then it's going to show you where those words are spoken. And in the pro version, it gives you the option to edit out things like likes and ums and pauses and just filler words that you don't need. Now it has the feature to do it kind of automatically. I'd like to do it sort of half automatic, to where it's identifying where they are, but I like to be more precise of where it is, because sometimes a space might be a long pause, and sometimes it might be to add emphasis to what was just said. So just as an example, it's not always ideal to cut out everything, you know, all the pauses and everything in that capacity. So we'll see how long this takes. Obviously, a shorter clip will take less time. So yeah, and that's great too. I will show you that it is transcribing it. And that's another feature that CapCut does for free that I don't think anybody else does. You can get a transcription and add it to the video. So having that subtitles on the video, it allows you to do that. And then you can add and change how the subtitles look, position them where you like them. And this is just something that I don't think any other platform offers for free. There are plenty that offer that, but usually they're paid versions of that to offer that for free. And even the paid version of this, 10 bucks a month is really nothing crazy. Especially if you just want to, you know, you have a set of amount of things you want to do, and you've got a month you want to spend 10 bucks on, and then cancel it the next month. There's no issue there to do that. So yeah, hopefully this will mosey on along here. But I've really enjoyed doing this. I really enjoyed the process and doing it. It's helped me to sort of yeah, just hear back some of the things that have been said and go deeper into what I want to include, what I'd like to remove. And so just having that flexibility in doing so, taking these longer winded shows and condensing them down has been a great process. And I've gotten great feedback on the clips that have been shared. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in and for sharing the feedback in that space. But the idea behind this was to share the process just so others can help out as well. You know, if you find you have the time or just want to help out in some ways, there's lots of ways that you can do this kind of stuff. Like I said, probably all from a mobile phone. Finn was doing it all from his iPad and had no issues. So you can see here, and now it's provided this whole transcript. So if I click on this word here, then because at the, you heard it, it started at because. So it moved the timeline to start at that point. So as I'm going through here, I can read the transcript and say, okay, I don't really want to go into this part, or I want to remove this as a whole. Now with the free version, I don't know if it lets you. It might actually. This is where I'm not quite certain because I do have the pro version, but to just remove stuff from the transcript, I think it actually does let you do that. But what the pro feature does is it has this features of removing filler words. So it's analyzed this stuff and it's found that there's 146 pauses, 59 hesitations, and 28 repetitions. So it picks up on all the ums, the repeats, the yas, the spaces, and it shows you where those are. And then the process can be as simple as just going here and clicking delete. So then you see it's removed that part, it's created that space here, and you do it seems you do have to go back and kind of like push them back together, which takes a minute. But this is just makes it so very painless to edit out that kind of stuff. So I like to go through, and I won't do all this sort of painstaking stuff while we're on this call, but I like to listen to it before and after the pause removal and just see like how does this fit? Does the automatic removal remove out too much of the pause? And then I tweak it in that way. But obviously, you could do this all very fast because I could just go here and say delete everything. And let's just do that and see what happens. Um, so it's going to take all of these things that it's found and delete them all. Oh, it's working on it. Yeah, and obviously the faster computer you have, the better all this stuff is going to run. I have a decent laptop, but it is a laptop. So working on a PC, you can usually get better specifications on things and have a sort of a more robust experience. But I haven't had any issues. I certainly haven't had it crash. So another piece of software that I have used, which is great if you want to get super um, super intense and technical with the editing. DaVinci Resolve is completely. They have a completely free version, and that's one of the most widely used in the industry, just because of the amount of features within it. And they have tons of pro features, paid features that you can get as well. But when I use DaVinci Resolve, one, it's very complex, so it's kind of overwhelming to get into, and yeah, it's very CPU intensive. So it uses a lot of the computer to do a lot of stuff. I've had it crash a couple of times just because of that. This one, I haven't had any issues with crashing. So it seems to be simplified and just lighter in general. And that's what other people who have used this will report back and say the same. So yeah, this is, you can see it's already done all the work at cutting out all these little bits that it's identified as a filler word or a space. I don't, like I said, I don't really like letting this do this automatically because sometimes I find it cuts out maybe just a touch bit too much or too little. And so it doesn't sound as congruent. And I don't know if that's just because of how I speak, it doesn't recognize that well. Um, but just something to note. But yeah, you could easily just use that, condense these clips together, or leave the spaces in if you like. And you'd have a full timeline without all the filler stuff. So that's sort of the audio element, which is great. Oh, and do want to note, so with the audio as well, so even sort of before, it depends, before or after you get to this stage with the audio, um, there's another just fantastic tool that's completely free. Well, there is a paid version as well, and I actually just signed up for a trial version of it to see how I like it. But I will show you this one. Oh, here it is. So this Adobe podcast, so podcast.adobe.com/enhance. This thing is amazing. Like basically what you do is you have to create an account, which I'm showing this one because I just signed up for the trial for the pro version, the paid version. So it looks a little different. So I wanted to give an idea of what the free version looks like here. So you'd sign in, so you just create a Adobe profile, free to do. Um, and then you can drop files here. And with the free version, it's up to 30 it's audio only, up to 30 minutes at a time, and up to an hour per day, all completely free. And what it does is it essentially takes it through this just magic enhancer where, and it shows the example here. So I'll play that. I'm in a conference room with the window open and it's pretty echoey in here too. Not the best place. So you take that and then you run it through this thing, enhance the speech. Record audio. Yet with enhanced speech, all of the background noise and echo is gone, as if I recorded this in a professional studio. Yeah. So it takes that clip and makes it super crisp and clean. So if you have a bunch of background noise, or even just have, doing stuff on a phone mic, something that's not going to be that perfect quality. I have a pretty nice mic. I'm happy with it and I'm happy with how it sounds. I still like to run the audio files through this because it just makes it a little bit extra crispy. So no matter what, it equalizes the volumes. It makes everything balanced in that way. So it takes out a ton of work, and stuff where you'd have to have a lot of technical knowledge to adjust these audio settings, and just does it automatically. So that is amazing that it's completely free. The paid version gives you the ability to do video files up to 2 hours long and up to 4 hours a day, and kind of save them on the server for a longer period of time. And they do a free month trial, I'm trying that out just to do some more without having those limitations. But it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing what you can do for absolutely nothing at all. So yeah, I quite enjoy that part. And then yeah, so that's what I'll do with the audio file. So if you're still working with the free version, then you might need to come to CapCut first. Say you're working with an audio file that is longer, and you might need to trim it down. So either go through that process of cutting out the ums and the spaces and things to kind of cut down on the time of that, or just in general, you can trim the timeline. So say you've got a longer clip, just to show you. And I'm just doing this as an example. I'm not going to use this one, but say you've got a longer clip in there. I mean, you're just, oops, not that part. Oops. Okay. So I just undid the editing part. But so say I've got this longer clip here, and you do have to go through and like listen to, and that's why I asked if people find the timestamps on things of where they enjoy, what they might enjoy to have a clip made of. It just makes it easier to go back and listen to it and find that exact spot. But say I wanted to cut it down to the 15-minute mark. I've got this at 17 minutes. I'm just going to drag this and cut it down to 15-minute. And you can see here the timeline of that aspect. So now I've got a clip that's under 15 minutes long. And if I was going to feed that into the Adobe enhancer, then I would need to export this file first. So that's once you're done editing or in the process of it and just want to come out with an MP3 file, then you use this export button up here in the top right, go to export. And if I were doing video, I would do that or just check the audio version and then hit export. So it says if I did that, it would take it'd be about 14 megabytes for an MP3 file. So then I could take that and throw it into the Adobe Audio Enhance, and then once it enhances it there, then come bring that file back to here, and replace whatever I was, or start a new project or whatever. Replace the unenhanced audio with the enhanced one and work with it that way. So that's a sort of a workaround to do that. Um, yeah, so that's sort of that part of the process. Um, they do have, so I've used this enhanced voice on the pro version of CapCut, and it works pretty well. It does cut out noise and it does sort of equalize volume. You can normalize the loudness as well if you have a clip that's louder in certain parts. So that works well, and that one's free. The enhanced audio is a pro version of it. I just found it doesn't work quite as well as that Adobe one. Like it's magical how good that other one works, but this one works pretty well in just the same piece of software. So another neat feature there. And then yeah, so with the audio kind of in place, then you're going to want to look at the other elements to add on top of that. So one of them would be, what sort of image or video do I want to run in the background while this video is playing? So I would, if I wanted to run a picture in the background, I would just come and find a picture. We'll just use this one, and I could run that in the background. And then I could stretch that to the whole video. So then as the audio is playing, gives you the preview here. So discover and to see that picture is going to be showing there. So that's an easy way just to do. And of course, you can have multiple images and just kind of set the timeline for the slideshow here, doing same sort of step, just adding different images. So it change at different points. You can change the animations of each element, both audio and pictures. So do I want this to fade in and out? Do I want it to go, whatever? And there's a lot of different options. They have them labeled here as pro and non. So obviously you get a lot more options with the pro version, but there's still plenty of them that you can use that are completely free. So it really is a great piece of software. They offer so much with that. And yeah, so that's kind of that part, if you want to do it that way, or if you wanted to have a video, then you can add a video on top of that as well. So what I like to do, and I'll show you this process of how I get these videos also, but finding these great sort of meditation videos that has music with it, and usually is paired with sort of natural scenery, because that's always nice. So to have that in the background just gives you that. So it changed it. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, here's where you can adjust your ratio if you need to change anything. I've done that separately, where I've made it for a widescreen YouTube video versus a TikTok video, or YouTube short or whatever. So you can change the ratio here, and it sort of adjusts things automatically in that way. But of course, you can play with how everything shows up. And yeah, so then you end up having the audio paired with this video playing in the background. And that's nice, because it just gives something fun to look at while you're listening to it, something peaceful. The music element is nice to it. Obviously, you can add another music element on top of it or below, and you just have to be mindful of the volume. So if you left it, if you can hear that, if you left it at 100% volume, then the music ends up overpowering the audio that you want to hear. So That's where you can change the volume of it and yeah, reduce it. So I've kind of found a sweet spot of around like minus 26, because 26 is God, on the volume to that seems to be at a good level. So when I do that, then the volume goes down. The voice audio is still up, and that's just a good level. Of course, you can play with that however you like. If you want it louder or quieter, different parts. Um, and of course, you can clip out the videos in the same way that you would the audio. Lots of tools there with that within that. So just to show the clipping aspect, you basically set the timeline aspect wherever you want, create a clip, and all of a sudden now this is two pieces on this one. Or if I want to do the same thing with the video, clip it. Oops. Let's do it here. Clip this one, and now I have the video that I can move or shift around or whatever. And don't be afraid to use Control Z or undo whenever you're doing stuff. It always would take you back to where you were before in case you make an oopsie, because that happens a lot. And yeah, so that's sort of adding the video element. So to get these clips, of course, there's many ways that you can do this. I'll just show the way that I've found to be ideal. Um, to download YouTube videos, there's lots of great websites that you can download YouTube videos. I'm not going to go through and search through them. If you just go into a search engine and say YouTube downloader, you can usually find something where all you have to do is type in the link of the YouTube video that you're wanting to download, and it will give you the option to do so. So that's certainly one way. And I've done that many times in the past. But what I found to be ideal, and I link this in the description as well, is installing this Microsoft DOS run program called YT-DLP. And this gets a bit more technical. If it seems to be that way, and I'm not one who uses the command prompt, the DOS operating system, to do things very often. I'm familiar with it to a very, very minimal degree, but it's essentially run in that software, and that's why I linked this video. This video is so good. You know, it's so simple, straightforward. How to do this, where to go, how to install it. Takes hardly any time at all. So you don't have to know all these details, and they do it much better than I could. So I will just show you the sort of finished product once you have it installed in here. Um, this is what you would do to download a video in that space. So you'd essentially find a video that you want to download and use. Um, you know, you do need to be conscious of copyright, and I mean, it depends on what you're going to do with it, right? Like, if you don't want the copyright boogeyman to come after you, then be mindful of that. It's ideal not to use, if it's going to be on YouTube or a platform that is very sensitive on those things. It's ideal not to use songs that are widely known and have are likely going to have those copyright restrictions on it, because the algorithms will just sort of automatically find it, and they can either flag you or shut down your channel eventually. So yeah, just be mindful of that with what you're using, and always give credit to whomever you're using from, if regardless of the copyright, just is the right thing to do, to give credit where credit's due. So I've been using this particular channel, just to give a shout out to them, Nature Healing Society. I don't know them. I've never spoken to them, but they have a lot of great videos on here, and it's a lot of them are labeled of like copyright free music, and they say that very intentionally, to say like, hey, we're not, this isn't copyright, you know, these are just loving videos and music that we put together that we want to share with the world, just because of that, you know, which is how all creative projects should be. So I really appreciate that approach, and I appreciate, you know, them to do that. So I'll find a particular video, see that it's got a nice scenery, everything looks lovely in it, and it's really long too. You know, this is 8 hours. So I can use this same video for many, many different clips, and the music's lovely. So I copied the link here. And once you've got YouTube YT/DLP installed, then it's as simple as typing the command in and hitting enter, and boom, it is now downloading. So it'll, once all that runs, it'll tell me how long it's going to take to download it. It will take care of that. So there you go. You can see it's downloading, and it's going to take, you know, a few minutes to do. So we don't need to wait for that, but just to show you the process and how easy it is. And this works for Rumble. This works, I think it works for maybe all video platforms. I don't know the limitations of it, but I've used it for Rumble as well. So I imagine it works on quite a lot of other ones. So it's a great little thing to have, to just download videos in that way. So that's what I'll do. And that's where I got that particular clip from that I showed here, to just throw in here and have running in the background. So that's a nice thing to add. And then the other element that I think is great, of course, there's no limit to what elements you add to this. You can add pictures overlaid, you can create graphics and have various things show up at different times, and you can control all of it. So you can do it very, very complex and intricate, or you can do it extremely simply as well. You know, there's no limit to what you want to do with it. And yeah, and of course there's a lot of built-in ads in the software itself too. So they've got stickers and images and effects and things that you can throw the um, into the image. There's a lot of features with CapCut that I haven't even begun to explore. There's a lot of great videos out there that show some more intricate stuff of what you can do with this software. It's quite robust. So again, I've really enjoyed using it. And yeah, I'll mention, so in the description of this video, there is a link to download CapCut, and it doesn't even say that anyone has to. All you have to do is download it and create a free account, I think, and both you and I will get 7 days of CapCut Pro for free. So if you want to trial it, and you want to trial it for a week and not even pay the $10 and just see how you like the pro features, then you can do that just by using the link in the description, and we each get a little boost there. So that's an option to try that, and yeah, just see how you like it. But like I said, the free version is very good. You know, you don't really need that. That's how Finn uses this software. He didn't do anything paid for. He was just using it all in the free version. And if you see his videos, you see that he adds captions to it as well, which was going to be another part that I was going to show. And just so it doesn't take quite as long, we're just going to cut down this just so it's not so cumbersome. Let's just delete that, and then we'll just reduce this quite a bit down. Come here and zoom out here. Actually, we'll just delete that. Okay, so now I've got a little clip that's less than 10 minutes, and say I wanted to add captions to it. Well, it has an auto caption feature, and this is free. It has an auto caption feature in the free version, and all you have to do is come here to the caption section and hit generate, and it does its magic. It goes through the whole clip and finds the words, and then it inserts it in the timeline. So it's aligning with the audio. It's aligning with the video as it plays. So then you can take that element and configure how you want the captions to show up, what sort of formatting you want to use. There's lots of formats to pick from for the captions. Most of them are free. There are many pro ones as well. They're all great. And so you can kind of determine, okay, where on this video do I want the captions to be? Do I want to go through and correct? It does a good job automatically, but it doesn't get every word correctly, 100%. So to go back through and um, correct the things that are said, correct the spelling or the phrasing of the word, um, and then it throws it all on that video. So for the completed product, it has all of that into it. So it really is quite awesome with what it can do. Um, yeah, I should have cut that video down. I mean, obviously, the longer videos are going to take longer, shorter ones take less. And short is, kind of ideal. You want to capture whatever the essence is that you're trying to convey from whatever the longer form clip that you want. But the shorter that you can make it, it just opens up the world of possibilities of bringing it into YouTube Shorts, which I think the maximum for those is 60 seconds. So it's very short. I haven't been able to find something that sounds well. I have, but I haven't committed to making a 60-second clip just yet. TikTok has options to you can do up to 30 minutes now on TikTok, but most people don't have in the TikTok space don't have any attention span. So you really want to get it down certainly below 10 minutes, but ideally, a few minutes max, or less than a minute even. Um, so yeah, just mentioning that to sort of open up the possibilities of where these clips can be taken and what you can do with them. And like I've said before, I mean, there's so much content. There's so much freaking content. I get overwhelmed with like where to start with and what to do with it. But somebody could literally create a whole channel, and that's what a lot of these TikTok channels have do that start generating income. You do get paid from YouTube and TikTok as long as you satisfy the censorship demons. You could get through without without getting flags if you don't say certain things. And but once you have enough views, these platforms all pay you. I've never gotten to that state, so I don't even know what that world is like. But I do know that with enough subscribers and enough eyes, you can start to get paid just from this. So imagine doing this all for free, creating all this content based on stuff that's already been said and put out there, creating these smaller clips, and getting a channel that not only brings this truth to people, is spreading this message, but you can get paid for it as well. So it is, yeah, it's a nice like it's a great thing to do, just to give some more encouragement in that space. So I'm gonna cancel that because I was just identifying the filler words. So yeah, then you can see it shows
But just
the the caption here. And with the captions, if you so you can see it from here to see what it's looking like. But if you want to change the formatting of how those captions show up, and as long as you keep this box checked that says apply to all, obviously you could change them individually if you want to, but then you can change it to where it'll show up in a different way.
opposite, seemingly opposite forces to play against each other.
So there you go. Now you have this great caption that's visually appealing, and there are tons to choose from to add on to this video of this beautiful scenery in the background, the nice music to kind of play with the audio going. And you've taken just what was a long-winded audio, and you've created a dynamic, intricate creation that's visually appealing and fun to listen to. And that's really it. I mean, like I said, you can do so much more. I'll add other layers in here just to like remind people that like, hey, we have these discussions on Telegram. If you want to join us, you can create a title card to start out and add that at the beginning while it's being started, um, and so much more. So it's quite yeah, it's quite powerful. What you can do here. So I will show that's kind of an example there. I'll show kind of what another project that and how it looks in that, at least when I was finished with it, just to see the different layers of it. So we'll take a look at the duality one. Just takes a second to pull up. Yeah, I don't know if anyone is a comedy fan, but I've been really getting into the show Kill Tony, and Theo Vaughn as a comedian and Kill Tony as a comedic podcast, both of which are hilarious. Really enjoyed the laughter there. So yeah, this is the clip on duality. And so you can see all the layers that exist within that one. These are just the sort of banners that give the website. This was like a fun new way to create like a graphic display.
Now you've got 1 point.
So I added this.
You have that point splitting into two. 1 point becoming
the graphic.
two.
So
From
this is these layers down here playing.
You draw a line. You've got a triangle.
And then creating that diamond.
Those two becoming one.
So creating that animation was just using the stickers built into the software, and yeah, just playing around with it. So I'm sure there's tons more to learn, and I am by no means an expert, but I did want to share how simple that is to get started and to work with. Yeah, just to help out and doing that. So that's pretty much the process. And then, like I said, you export it and then upload it wherever you like. So yeah, I think that about covers it. I will, yeah, just move back to the chat and see. Just gonna stop. Yeah, see what we got going on here in the chat. Yeah, thanks, Suzanne. Ben asks, I assume you can combine clips from multiple separate videos, podcasts. Yes, exactly. So the sky's the limit. You know, you can combine uh, whatever you want together, either run in parallel, so they're run one after the other, or no, that would so run congruently, so one after the other in order, or if you wanted to have a layer on top of each other, so you have, yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want too much audio going at once because then you can't understand what's being said or what's happening. But that's what's so nice about these various layers is you get to choose where the layers are. I think the order of them determines which ones show up first, but you can choose to hide the particular layers or lock it so they can't be changed accidentally by you. Of course, you can unlock that, but just helps to prevent any accidental shifts or movements. And yeah, there really is no limit to that as far as what you can do with it. And yeah, um, yeah, so that's all the questions I see here, and I don't want to keep this too long, just so it's easy to watch and see. And but I am happy to, if anyone does feel inspired to do this, and you get stuck somewhere, especially if you're working on some stuff for me, I'm more than happy to help out. I say that jokingly. I'm more than happy to help out. So feel free to reach out if you have questions about doing this kind of stuff and want to dive into it, and I can help any which way. Yeah, happy to help however I can. So yeah, I'll just leave that there. Again, the links for the stuff that I use is in the description, the link to Finn's channel, the link to download CapCut, and we each get a little boost of free pro version, and the link to the YT DLP description to see how to download that, the link to um, the Adobe podcast enhancer is there as well. Yeah, so that's all there. So again, thanks for tuning in. Valerie just got on late. Yeah, no worries. This will be here on YouTube as soon as the live stream is over. I mean, I think you can already skip back to the beginning if you like. But as soon as I end it, the recording will be there in the live section of my channel. So that will be there for anyone to listen in whenever they like. And yeah, like I said, please let me know if there's any way that I can do to help. And um, yeah, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. And yeah, just enjoy enjoy yourself, enjoy this process. Thanks, Carol. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Valerie, Tracy, Suzanne, Ben. Appreciate y'all tuning in live. And I love y'all so very much. Take care, everybody.